Just over 2 hours from home, I'm already on the edge of the lovely Brecon Mountains of South Wales, and my first stop is for a quick pint at the Skirrid Inn, just off the A465 north of Abergavenny. Hi, I'm Warren Brand, and this time I'm out for a solo trek in the Brecons. From the Skirrid, I took the narrow road up the valley to find the priory ruins at Langthorny. I've been here so many times, but the place keeps drawing me back. Dating back to around 1100, the old medieval buildings include some Norman and Gothic features too. From the 15th century, the priory was not used very much, and over the centuries since, the main area has deteriorated to its current state. A little further up the narrow road is Capel-y-ffin, and this is the start point for my overnight circuit. I did this route as a day walk with Neil a few years ago. The weather that day was horrendous, but this evening I'm expecting some great views and clear skies. Passing the small chapel, the track then cuts right along the valley side, following the contour lines to the back of a farm. This first bit of track is a bit odd as it follows a path along the edge of a series of fields. It would be ideal if the route gained height steadily, but alas no. The first section simply finds the bottom of the path, which will then climb up to the ridge. It's an interesting path though, with little fords, stiles and gullies. Having met the small road ahead, which comes up to the farm, the path off left then begins to climb up the side of the ridge, which has Offa's Dyke path along the top. The ascent is hard work, but not technically challenging. Grassy with bracken, the path is easy to follow. As height is gained, the views back over your right shoulder down the valley towards Langthorny are so picturesque. At the top, the Offa's Dyke path is met at a marker stone. Turning north, the path is relatively easygoing with slabs and firm gravel most of the way. The distance from this marker along to the section of Offa's Dyke to the northern tip of the ridge at Hey Bluff is quite long. There's time to look around, think, plan and take extra photos of puddles and the ferns. It's not possible to see the location of the old Capel-y-ffin youth hostel, as it is tucked down over the side of the ridge. The youth hostel was opened in 1958, but sadly closed in 2007. With the old walking group I used to organise, we used the hostel very many times from 2000 through to its closure. Neil and I made a point of staying there on the very last weekend of it being open. Paul and Paula were great managers. If anyone knows where they moved on to, please do comment below. Just before Hey Bluff, another marker stone shows where the Offa's Dyke path diverges off to the right, but I took the route left to the end of the ridge at Hey Bluff. The Trig Point is painted white, with red dragons added on each flat face. Very striking. The Trig Point has a large moat around it, where the erosion has left the ground lower than the surroundings. Southwest, the path descends rapidly to the road at Gospel Pass. Along this path, the Wye Valley on the right is an impressive sight in clear weather. The patchwork of fields and the little wooded sections look great from the height of the ridge. This can be a grisly section in foul weather though. The dive down to cross the road at Gospel Pass is via a grassy path, easy in fine weather but quite slippery in the wet. The vivid reddish colour of the soil is remarkable. Over recent years this area has become quite badly eroded, with all the walkers and mountain bike riders using the path. Up the other side, the route up to Lord Hereford's Knob is straightforward and easy to navigate. There's no trig point at the top, but the summit provides a viewpoint for a 360-degree view all the way round, and all the better in fine weather. I had picked this spot for my overnight Wildcamp, so I got on with setting up my tent in a hollow looking over the valley and got my meal going. The following morning was remarkably fine and clear. By about 7:30 I'd packed up, had my breakfast and was ready to set off on the return section of the hike. I took the path southwesterly to the high ground, which appears to have no formal name. The trig point here marks the top clearly, and this one too has red dragons painted on the bright white block. From this trig point, the path southeasterly goes directly over the ridge, which forms a parallel line to Offa's Dyke on the distant ridge on the left. I followed this path all the way to the high ground at Capel-y-ffin at point 6 on the map, which is a little way past the junction where my path leads back down to Capel-y-ffin. I was keen to tick off this high ground peak, even though I've been here many times before over the years. Looking northwest, the little reservoir was brim-full even at this time of year. The view back up to the last trig point and to the right to Lord Hereford's Knob, further round to Hey Bluff and the end of Offa's Dyke Ridge was very clear today. I've been lucky with the weather. Turning back, I took the right turn then to follow the path down the side of the ridge towards the farm, just up from Capel-y-ffin. The view over the wooded area around Capel-y-ffin was lovely, and the short ridge of Down Lurid running southeast from the back of Lord Hereford's Knob towards Capel-y-ffin is an interesting feature as it splits the top of the valley into two. I was very lucky with the weather for this trip. In the past the views have been lost in rain and mist. I hope you've enjoyed some of the views too. I would appreciate a like on the old thumbs up button, and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. I've left a few notes in the description below. And back to the car. From Capel-y-ffin I drove up to the top of the valley and over Gospel Pass. I was heading for the little hamlet of Craswall, hoping to find the pub there still open. Sadly the building is there, but it can't have been a pub for many years. Back around 2000 I used to have an evening meal there as a trip out from the old Capel-y-ffin youth hostel. Craswell pies were great off the menu. Sorry Neil, no more nice pies. Instead I stopped in Hey-on-Wye and had a pint in the Kilverts. The interior here is totally different to how it was back in the day. It's more loungy now and comfortable. With a pint and my map laid out, I checked the detail for my next walk, and that'll be featured in another video very soon. Thanks for watching and bye for now.